What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got another one of Shadow Online Gaming's 1 versus 1 Total War Warhammer 2 Mortal Empires tournament. Now, in case this is your guys' first time, the rules of the tournament is each one of us YouTubers got to pick a single race to use throughout the tournament. There was 10 players, and which broke up into 2 groups of 5. Now, each player played everyone else in the group of 5 one time for 4 games, and then the top 2 in each bracket was going to go ahead to the semifinals. So I've been casting the games from the first week, and so this game is actually me using my greenskins, and I am facing off against Pshyc. So he is a fun YouTuber. I've checked out his channel. If you guys haven't, check it out. It's a lot of fun, and he's chosen the High Elves for this match. So he has already taken out, I believe, Pharaoh of War, and I'm not sure how he did against Dov, but so far he's doing pretty well in the tournament as well. So it's me against Pshyc, and let's go ahead and show you what we've got here. So we've got on the right, we've got our Goblin Big Boss on the Spider, just like it's pretty typical for me. In the front line here, you see we've got some Orc Boys mixed in with some Orc Biggins. So I wanted to get some Orc Boys just to kind of get some fodder units. I know the High Elves are normally pretty low, and I figure with the boys and the Biggins with their weapon strength being 34 and 42 respectively, that they'd kind of be able to get in there and chop down some spears or different stuff like that. Here in the front, you see I've got a group of goblins with a couple of chevrons, and that's to protect this hammer of Gork that I got right here. That's that Regiment of Renowned Rock Lobber. It's really cool, and I love the Great Green Wallop because it does put an AoE debuff on the people within a certain area of the damage with the rocks hit. We've also got it, if you look here in the back, we've got the Warlord's Boys to put some armor sundering. We've got them mixed right in here with 2 groups of Black Orcs for that elite armor piercing. So between these two, if we get the Warlord's Boys on and then hit them with the Black Orcs, those Black Orcs will cut through it like a hot knife through butter. Here in the back, we've got our typical Goblin Firing Squad, 2 Goblin Archers, and the Rusty Arrows to kind of give it some weight. And we've also got this Orc Shaman, and this time we've only brought, maybe we can't. Either way, we've only brought the AoE buff as well as the single target buff. So the one thing I like about Fists of Gork that they've added is it does add magic damage. So it does give you the ability. I don't think there's any ethereal units on the High Elves, but it does give you the ability to kind of boost up the magic damage, which is something that the greenskins were always sorely lacking. Over here on the right side, you'll see I have got a group of Goblin Wolf Riders, and just by where he started off being placed, it kind of makes them a little bit less relevant in the beginning of this battle. And I just want to say right off the bat that I'm sorry, there is going to be some problems because there's a ton of trees, and you see here, Pshyc actually started right there in the middle of the tree. So over here for his High Elf build, you'll see that he does have these Dragon Princes. These are those super cool High Elf. Oh, I mean, I just love the way they look. These are those super cool High Elf cavalry with the blue and white color scheme. They're super strong, 110 armor. They've got 42 defense, 44 attack, and I mean, just everything on the High Elves is super strong. Here in the back, he's got these Phoenix Guard. These guys also have, 100 armor, 46 attack, and 52 defense when buffed. They've got armor piercing, anti-large. These guys are just all around badasses. So having them in the back for the elite protection for these 3 groups of Lothar and Sea Guard, which are the archers, and they've also, you see they're carrying spears there on their back, so they can actually hold their own in a fight against large. So if you charge them with cavalry or something, those Lothar and Sea Guard are going to be able to fight back. Here in the front, you see he does have some spearmen. So he's got 5 groups of spearmen, which actually, since High Elves are all pretty elite, they do have, of course, anti-large, but they've also got a silver shield, 40 armor. They've got 50 melee defense when they're buffed right there. That is a ton. So even though they don't have a great attack, they're perfect for sitting there in the front line and allowing some of these other guys to do a bunch of damage. You see, he's also brought 2 nobles, which are on foot. And on foot, they're armor piercing. They'll cut down enemy lords real quick if they get on top of someone. And finally, you see he does have Tyrion. He's marching there amongst his troops. And Tyrion, it looks like he did bring I mean, he did bring the, I think what's it called, the Sunflare, and then he also, I mean, he's actually got some pretty much everything over there. Hard to choose him when he's mixed in with everyone like that, but he has brought pretty much everything on Tyrion, so he's going to be really strong and really hard to kill. So before I take too much time up with the introductions, let's go ahead and get this third game of this super fun tournament going strong. So right off the bat, you'll see, I mean, I tried to get in there before, and I'm trying to kind of circle around. I was trying to bring him out in the open, and I was really hoping that I could get my Hammer of Gork to bear. So the main thing I wanted was just kind of to make sure that he didn't get in behind me without me knowing. And I figure right here, this is we'll kind of just fast forward a bit there. This is right where that's going to work. So he's kind of trying to circle around the left side. I've kind of squared up and I'm coming in at the right side. And he's just going to get in a huge engagement right inside of these trees up against my orcs. So you see these orc boys and these biggins, they're going to be charging in. And then you get right into this group of spearmen. And we've also got, I mean, there we go. You see there's Here We Go. And you'll see that from that Orc Shaman, and that'll add 44 melee attack. So that gives, like, these Black Orcs, which are also given Fists of Gork, they've got 62 melee attack, and it's magic damage there. So they're doing all sorts of damage. It looks like that was a Fire Blast that missed from, from... Actually, I didn't see who cast the Fire Blast. But either way... it did not hit my orc troops, so we're actually doing okay. You see these spearmen? They're actually dying pretty quickly to that front line of orc biggins. I mean, look at with Wog. I mean, that's 124 melee attack on those black orcs, and we are just cutting through really quickly. But over here for the High Elves and Pshyc, he has got these Phoenix Guard over here on the left side. So even though these orc boys were buffed up on their attack, they were cut down really quickly. And you see those Phoenix Guard already have 18 kills. So, look at Grimgor's in here, and we're already starting to fight against Tyrion, but he also has these two nobles in here. So look at Grimgor starting to take some heavy damage. So if I keep Grimgor in there, and I let him hack on me with all of the three of those heroes, we're gonna take damage really quickly. Here in the back, you'll see I've finally managed to get those Goblin Wolf Riders around. And I don't think that they count as large when they're on top of those wolves. Maybe they do, but either way, they were actually able to get in and do some good damage. Since we've got a group of orc boys also around the edge there. Oh man, look at those Dragon Princes getting in the back there. So I mean, we've got one group of Lothar Sea Guard, but these Dragon Princes just came right back into these Black Orcs. I mean, that was a heavy hit. If you saw that, take out about a third of the health of those Black Orcs. But for me, this is exactly what I could hope for. You see here, we've got Foe Seeker, and we've got Here We Go again. And Grimgor is just a beast. I mean, with his high armor and with his defense 35, but 114 melee attack, he's actually still alive, even though these Noble and Tyrion are pretty much all beating on him. Over here in the back, you'll see I was kind of holding some units in reserve, so we're gonna have to start getting them in. The Goblin Big Boss, we actually managed to kill all of these Dragon Princes here in the back, and so now we've got our Archer firing line coming up here, and we've got a ton more Biggins and Orc Boys that are gonna come in here and get into the battle in reserve, and which is really good because these Black Orcs are actually taking a good amount of damage. You see, this unit's down to 44 models, this unit's down to 50. But they've taken some good health damage. So it's really good to see that I'm starting to get some good shots in here with the Goblin Archers and the Rusty Arrows. And you see here the armor on these Lothar Sea Guard is actually reduced to 10. So since these units don't have shields, they're going to be perfect targets for my Goblin firing line to take out. Here in the back, you'll see, even though the Hammer of Gork was kind of taken out by those Dragon Princes, we're going to try to get it back and get it back online, and maybe see if we can't get a few more shots a little bit later. Here in the main line engagement, you'll see we just have all of these Greenskins all in one place. They're constantly getting buffs. I'm cycling Wog, and Here We Go, so we always have a big buff. Oh man, look at the back there. Look at those Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, get into those Lothar Sea Guard, and that charge bonus is going to help them out. Even though the Sea Guard do have an alright attack, you see we did get some more Orc Boys into the back again. Oh man, look at that. Oh, and that's the Sunflare. That's Tyrion's special move. And they've made it so that that's like, you can cast that over and over again now. It's just got about a 2-minute cooldown, so you can get a bunch of hits off of that. You see those Seaguard with those spears? We're actually able to rout off those wolf riders that were coming in, and he does have a few more dragon princes that are going to come back in here and try to get some more fights on with these archers. But with just a small amount of health they have left there, if you see those archers were actually, I mean, we had a few Derustiers march in there, but they actually shattered those dragon princes. So you know that your dragon princes are done for the day when they attack some archers and some goblin archers and they die, right? So here in the back, you'll see, I mean, we actually are starting to get a little bit more in my favor, but it's hard to tell because the High Elves are just such strong units from the in an individual level. But I mean, we do have these goblin spears over here on the end, which are engaged with these Lothran Seaguard, and just generally everything staying together has really helped with my just because of my general AOE buffs that I've been constantly spamming with Grimgor and with my Orc Shaman. So if you look here, these biggins here in the front have 75 kills, and we've actually pretty much just got a massive orc mob. Let's see if we can show that. Look at all those choppas. Look at all those. So, you know, they're just all trying to stick him with the pointy end. We're lucky that the orcs can't kill each other in the melee like that. You see here, I mean, we are still losing individual units. You see the goblin big boss has been routed off. Some spearmen have routed off. I mean, a few more spearmen are coming into the fray along with these Lothran Seaguard, which are here on the edges. But I mean, there is just a mob of greenskins, and I do not think that these noble and that Tyrion is going to find his way out of it. Look at this battle. This is going crazy. You can see Grimgor in here. Everyone's covered in blood and gore. There's a few remaining High Elves over there just holding out. Of course, it's the Phoenix Guard that are holding out, but you know, overall, I really do think that I mean, this is just the last of it. Just the last few units of Phoenix Guard there. You see these nobles are really low in health. Tyrion was really low in health, and I was able to pull out the victory. So this was actually the third game I played out of 4, and this game was really fun. So this game put me at 2-1, and I feel like I'm sitting pretty at this point. So that was a great game to my opponent Pshyc. His High Elf squad was really tough. He had a bunch of the spearmen I don't think didn't perform as well as they would like to, because these orc boys were able to really get in there and chop them down. Because of the cycling buffs from the Orc Shaman and Grimgor Ironhide, we were really able to keep the melee attack really high on these cheaper units. And I mean, look at this. We got 33, 67, 26. This is a few hundred kills with these cheap units. We also got 87 and 78 with the biggins. So when we had this huge orc infantry line, I think it was able to chop down those spearmen rather quickly. Additionally, you see that the Derustiers and the Goblin Archers, I mean, we were fighting those Dragon Princes off for quite a while, but for the cost of the Dragon Princes and for the cost of this Goblin firing line, I really do feel like they really were a cost-effective addition. You know, even if somebody takes off your Goblin Archers, you've really not lost that much, and they've lost a lot of time killing them. You see the Hammer of Gork, it actually was pretty detrimental. I wish I would have been able to get a little bit better positioning. The Goblin Wolf Riders were able to get in there and kill some Lothran Seaguard. Maybe they didn't get as many model kills, but they did do damage and disrupt those archer units there in the back. I mean, 108 and 45, Black Orcs are always kind of strong, and they're kind of the center of any good Greenskin Grimgor army, so that was pretty well. Over here for Psych's army, you see, I mean, the nobles, 33, 21. We got Tyrion with 30 kills. So that's 100 kills between just his nobles over the 400 losses. So you see, I mean, besides that, the Phoenix Guard did pretty well. We got a good number of kills with the Lothran Seaguard, actually. But, I mean, there was a lot of units. So with 1,220 units deployed and only 400 units lost, you know, it was really hard. I think he just got overwhelmed by the WAAAAAAAAAGHHH, and there was just not, you know, in the trees like that, there was just not any way for him to deal with just those constant AoE buffs that I had. So it's a great game to my opponent Pshyc. I want to thank Shadow for putting on the wonderful tournament that we got going here. There's games all over his channel. I urge you guys to go check it out. He's putting all the games up. He's got the whole tournament going on there. And it's a blast. I'll have a link there in the comments if you guys want to check it out. I want to thank Pshyc. I want you know, tell you guys, if you could, just subscribe below for more great online content. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.